Well, my mic cable's still popping out, making it a little hard to start the show sounding. Oh no, I think I need to get some Deoxit, and I think there's a can of Deoxit behind me somewhere. Let me Brian's on his way. He's got to go call someone and see if he has to serve jury duty or not. So I'm going to say guilty. Whatever jury Brian goes on, my bet's on guilty. Is it bad taste to bet on court case outcomes? Probably. I guess I should hit that button. There we go. So I am here, and normally I'd be stalling for time, waiting for a co-host to show up. But hey, it's nice to have a few moments to get a word in edgewise before Brian shows up. Did I say that out loud? I always say that out loud. But anyways, I guess the word for today is bois. And searching through my archives, I did find a really lame bois related thing we did, which was back when there was the Wub Machine, which was another thing I ripped off from NHP Radio. I think Damon and Liam were the ones that were playing with the Wub Machine and brought that to my attention, and we did a lot of that, and after a while it became very predictable and repetitive. But we did get this little piece of audio out of it. No, that's the wrong one. Okay, so that's the folder of sounds I fed into the Wub Machine, but not the output of the Wub Machine. When Brian starts talking and I can't get a word in edgewise, I'm gonna go grab the can of Deoxit and fix the channel. So making Brian useful. I did also feed Yoko Ono into the Wub Machine apparently, because that is also here, but we don't want to listen to that. No Wubs barred. Yeah. So unfortunately all I have is somewhere I had the Wub Machine outputs, but I'll have to stumble onto that folder another time perhaps. But I do have a scan of, well, in order for this to work I have to do that first. I do have a scan of the Polaroid. I don't know where the original Polaroid of this ended up. It's probably somewhere in a box of crap. But there I am, chugging the beer shake on the phone, with beef in my teeth. I had it got through the camera, said, "Here, take a picture of this," and he did. Back when I had no beard and hair on my head, and yeah, it was not appealing. Zelos writing in, your beer shake is still one of my favorite bits of all time. That was I put for the show topic, shall we ponder a legacy, because there's nothing like someone else starting a YouTube channel. Now, mind you, I get that the YouTube channel is about the NHB archive, but and so many times when I talk about the past of my involvement in NHB and the legacy of NHB, it comes off, I feel like it comes off self-indulgent, because I can really only talk about my experiences from my point of view with my viewpoint and opinions on it, and it's not always how I want it to come across, but I think sometimes I just sound like some overindulgent living in the past dinosaur when I talk about some of the past times there, and so that's why I'm so glad to see other people taking up some form of building some kind of legacy for this great thing that I was but a small part of, that existed. And I mean, it's I think many times I said NHB will never die, and I kind of still believe that, but certainly we are past an era. I mean, there's certain elements and spirits, and I mean, PTR still doing their show. Dune and I still do our show. People still care about this thing, and so it still lives on. But we're certainly at a point where, when it comes to NHB's legacy, it's a thing of the past. Zelos writing in, it should be self-indulgent. People forget that NHB was literally the first actual internet comedy network of its kind. Looking back, it was pretty much revolutionary and a direct influence on the invention of podcasts we know today. I think there is some truth to that statement. I don't know if it's my place to make that claim. I do definitely believe that those of us on NHB were among the pioneers of internet streaming, internet radio, and podcasting. I also know that there were other people doing similar things, but I also feel that NHB was something very unique of its time. Doing asking hair, how is that possible? It was already in college. I noticed it was like it covered my head, but if I did that, you could see that it was covering up spots. But I've often had a desire to do some kind of project that essentially would be a, preserving NHB's legacy type of project. I felt like it should be a podcast. There should be a podcast series. I attempted to start it once. That was one of the reasons for one of my visits to hang out with Damon out at Seaside, was to start sitting down with him and kind of record an interview with him about the early days of NHB in the college radio era. And I thought, if I do these series of interviews and edit them into some kind of a podcast, I could somehow tell the story of NHB. And that's never been my bag, editing a podcast, which is kind of why I'm a dinosaur and a relic at this point when it comes to internet streaming, because it's all about podcasting. And I'm like, no, I just want to turn on a microphone and yammer on and have someone respond and kind of naturally form a conversation that perhaps is entertaining to someone. Old school talk radio. Sparky writing in, yo, what really is going on around here? Now, Sparky sent me a pretty awesome, some kind of an animated GIF showing evolution of computers. I haven't even looked at the full thing yet, but that was so I saw as I was prepping. Thank you for that message, Sparky. No, we are waiting to find out if Brian has jury duty tomorrow or not. Dune writes in, for the record, I was the last man standing to keep it alive. I didn't want the terrorists to win. I feel like I failed. No, Dune, I mean, the ship sailed. we were just keeping a server powered in Rico's house while that we were simulcasting to while streaming to Twitch and the Green Machine. And it's unfortunate that machine at Rico's place, did it get hacked or something? I think it was on Windows 10 and it couldn't update to 11 and it got hacked or something. I don't know. We've had Dune writes said, see, you kept saying that and wore me down. Well, I mean, mind you, I could be the king of impractical. So I really had nothing against the impracticality of keeping the server on at Rico's. If anything, keeping the server on at Rico's house was a product of a great inside joke about it somehow after a remodeling ending up in a wall somewhere where he can't figure out how to turn it off. I mean, that if anything, it was worth it for that. Sparky writes in, so NHB is just a memory? No. The spirit of NHB lives on. Certainly, when Dune and I do our show periodically, old timers pop into the chat, especially when we do the Saturday night 5-hit things together. People come out of the woodwork, and Dune and I start laughing about old times, and everyone's having a good time. It's still a thing that people have fond memories of. So it's not just a memory; it's the memory. And Dune still pays for the site. It's there. No, but I guess what I'm getting at is I never felt like I could ever do a project that would do justice to the legacy of NHB and somehow preserving that and telling that story. And so it makes me absolutely giddy with delight to see that there are other people that care about this enough that they've put up some kind of thing on YouTube. They have a Discord going. And oops, I just opened up Teams. I didn't want to do that. Now my coworkers are going to think I'm online ready to help them. Yeah, let's sign out of that. But although I'm still curious who the blind kid is in Discord, because apparently we had an encounter that may have not been the most. I may not have left the most positive impression, and I'd really like to correct that. So I'm hoping. And let's see, Zelos is here. No Holds Barred will. Nope. There we go. No Holds Barred will never die. Our server is making sure of it. A lot of us remember and think of NHB regularly. I use inside jokes that no one gets all the time still. I love that. I love that is a thing that is happening. Anyways, I think that is a little too. This channel is just killing me. Maybe I need to Dune writing in. Good old Johnny Rigid. I can't deny the accuracy of that statement. Let's see. No time to help coworker. You're on the air. Yeah, that I am. Well, you know what? Lately I'm forgetting to put on the stream recording to get an audio recording of these things. But I think this is a show I'm going to want to have an audio recording of in my archives. So there's a lot of holes in my archive over the past few years that YouTube archives would have to fill in, and in theory could. This is why I normally don't go live without a co-host live first. I could not keep the silence moving. Keep the silence. I can't keep the dialogue moving. I can't talk and click on things at the same time. Because now I want to start this recording, and in order to do that, I need to go into this folder here, and no, not that folder. That folder, and make sure there's not already an existing live file. Nope. Okay. Oh, excellent. That's all prep for me to hit start. Okay, we are doing a sound recording. So anyways, yes, Zelos and blind kid. I can't. Well, I don't know that blind kid's listening, but I can't thank you enough for what you were starting to do, and also for inviting me into the Discord, despite whatever unpleasant encounters I've had in the past with people. And I got to see what I can find. It sounds like a lot of stuff has already been found. It sounds like someone's been in contact with Damon and gotten a hold of his archives, because I know Damon has been pretty good about maintaining his archives, from digitizing his cassettes and converting his mini disc recordings from the past years, and keeping a digital archive of everything, and making things available to people. I have the Sloan archives. Brian is logging into everything. And the Sloan archives were used to create I think it was dubbed the Sloan box set. And Warhawk saying he could ask Psycho Steve if he has anything archived. Zalo saying Damon is our Lord and Savior, and he touched his weeder too. He never touched mine, but I was never sure. I'm going to tell this story, and I'm just going to say that I think this story was. I don't know if this story is an actual invitation or just an example of how my brain ain't always right. Zelos almost had me. This ain't my first rodeo, Zelos. I think I have some isolations of myself that people have clipped of me in my archive. We might have to dig some of those up too. So I went and hung out with Damon one time. And he was hanging out with a girl. I think her name was Carolyn, something like that. Very nice girl. I wasn't sure what the nature of the friendship was, if it was a just friends situation or what the deal was. But I think I was over there and might have done a little show or something. And then like after the show, she was like almost like, well, is he staying? And David was like, no, he's not. And as I left, I remember I was like, was she trying to invite me into a three-way situation? I think I was thinking that more as how could I use that as a joke somewhere, but I never quite made that work. So yeah, let's see what else. Oh, man, the chat is active tonight. Let's see. Sparky has a question for Warhawk. I may have seen an NHB stream back in the day. Was there a circuit breaker electric box located right behind where War sat? Huh. Let's see. Dune writing in. So let this sink in. Every hand you have ever shaken has had a dick in it. Every hand? There's got to be at least one or two. I mean, let's not forget I've shaken this guy's hand. Isn't that right, Brian?
Right.
Yes.
I had literally logged into everything. StreamYard, Twitch, Twitter. A fucking word.
Don't get me started on signing into things. I can't get signed into my window air conditioning unit on my new phone, and I've reset the password on the app 4 fucking times, and it's still telling me it's the wrong password, even though I've copied and pasted what I've literally set even after letting it stew for 15 fucking minutes. So if I want to set my window unit air conditioning unit, I either need to walk my happy ass over there and push buttons on the thing, or use the remote control that came with it, or use my old phone, which still has a working app on it. And that's just not acceptable because I want it to work on my new current phone that's in my pocket, because having to reach on the table for a remote control, that's just the terrorists win.
Okay, so my jury duty call.
We're just going to gloss right past that little rant.
I know. I feel for you, man. I do.
No. That was the appropriate response to that, Brian.
Right.
Because we want to know, are you serving jury duty?
Okay, so I got into the thing with the assumption there's 2 options. 1, show up tomorrow, you're screwed, right?
Yeah.
2, you're dismissed, right?
There's a third option. You're not dismissed and you don't show up and you get arrested.
No. Third option is you call again tomorrow to see if you have to show up.
So today was inconclusive. You have to call again tomorrow?
Yes.
It usually is 2 calls before you're dismissed.
No. I've often I've forgotten about this. I have never had this option before.
I've usually called, had a message that says call back, and then call back, and the message is you're dismissed. I don't think I ever served jury duty once in California, but I got a form every year to call and be dismissed. It was like It was like
Yeah, no,
clockwork.
I've been just I have had to show up, and I even got on the jury pool, and the defense attorney would look at me. We don't need you.
I did serve on a jury once, though.
I had two doozies.
Yeah.
One was in Denver, which was it was kind of sad.
It was.
It was sexual assault against a child. And you go, oh
Oh,
fuck, this could be bad. But
not a
actually,
good
it turns
topic for a
out,
comedy show.
yeah, I know, and it turns out there was literally no evidence against the guy other than this pathetic girl. In fact, after we were leaving, the defense attorney said, you know, we weren't allowed to show other parts of the diary. The evidence was in this diary.
I
Okay.
see.
And the other things that this girl had stated is that some teachers were fondling her as well.
So she was the popular kid in school.
Apparently. Although it suggests that none of it was true.
It does suggest that. And
You know, and when you go through the timeline of what was supposedly happened, the defense and the prosecution's versions were so far apart.
what was the prosecution's motivation to take this to trial if there was
See,
lot of-
the thing is, this was a social services person that was, you know, with the prosecution, and she actually spoke. And it's like she was just after this guy, you know. Oh, the diary must be right. You would think that someone in social service would understand
sounds like there was some
that
kind
this
of
girl had problems.
not every sometimes everyone has bad judgment, and that's why we have trials.
So you know, so from the date that this accusation was made, and basically it was the parents, I should say, the woman, the mother of this girl, and the live-in boyfriend got together and were looking at the diary, and they discovered this thing. So basically, they turned themselves in. This girl has a problem. But rather than solving the problem, they decided to go after this case.
Well,
And
anyways,
then,
let's
and then,
pivot
in the
away.
end, so this couple split up, went their separate ways,
I need to get that deoxit. Go on.
and then the children of this mother, she had 3 children, I think, they were taken away from her. Like, she didn't even have anything to do with it. She was divorced from the father. He wasn't even involved. I mean, it was bizarre. You know, hey, here's a perfect way to break up a family.
Yeah, sounds like it. I can't find my deoxit. Oh wait, here it is. Found my deoxit.
So that trial went about a week. Okay. The other trial was in Houston, and that was a fun one. We showed up and said, well, the House of the State House had decided that by law, the jury had to decide competency. Like, we're experts, right?
Right.
We didn't want a judge just to do this. Okay. So this was a competency trial. The guy had been accused of like assault and battery or something. But this trial wasn't about that. It was he competent to stand trial? And it was actually very quick. They just read the rules, and they okay, now it's for the prosecution to say, prosecution, what did the prosecution say? The guy is nuts. And they went to the defense attorney, and what did he say? The guy is nuts. Guess which way the jury went?
Basically, they had to have a jury to confirm that everyone's on the same page here.
Exactly. Now, so this was all done before noon.
Yeah.
So they broke us out to the jury room, and let's
Well,
see, either we could order a pizza and have a deeper discussion of this, or let's just vote with these guys and go home.
so
We
the,
voted to go. We ignored the free pizza because it was probably crap anyway, because it wasn't from New Jersey.
I was going to say, so the angry debate in the jury room was over whether we get the free pizza or leave.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And it wasn't angry at all.
Right.
It was.
I mean, in a TV show, it's like you see all the serious people writing their votes on the piece of paper, and then it reveals itself as you're voting on like whether you're staying for the pizza or
Right. In fact, I don't think. No, in fact, we just did raise of hand. There were no strips of paper, and everybody voted. Let's get out of here. Okay.
Yeah.
There was nobody that wanted that crappy pizza.
Now, we have a interesting topic this week because something came to our attention, just to bring you up to speed, Brian, is that someone has started a YouTube channel devoted to the NHB archive, which seems to be based on gathering recordings of Damon shows, past shows on NHB, and things like that, and posting them to YouTube. And they have a Discord, and so we got guests here in the chat room that are in the Discord associated with that, like Zelos here, who's saying, "Welcome to Law and Order." It's too bad I never put the doink doink sound effect on my soundboard, so I'll just have to give you a let's see. Does that work?
The same. It actually sounds like a cash register.
Yeah. No, I guess. All right.
There was a comedian that said it's a cash register because as long as that show plays, ching ching.
Yeah. No, I think our version of that would be
right, exactly.
Because there's ain't no money in this.
Right.
But anyways, Zelos liking the wacky horde.
Exactly.
Yeah,
there you go.
But so anyways, a Viscerist writing in here, looking at my 06 staff picnic and telethon DVDs, NHB was my favorite shit. Now, of course, the $1 million question is, how many months did it take you to get that disc after the telethon you donated to? And if I kept good notes, the number of months could probably clue me in as to who was responsible for shipping that. If you got it right away, it was Dune. If you got it 6 months later, it was me. If you got it a year later, it was me after Mike the 8-Man gave up on this. Actually, I don't know what year that happened. That was after.
Just got the DVD last week. Holy shit. Who was responsible for that?
Wow.
That's good. That's good.
That was pretty wacky. But
these electric cars, they need to have all these programmable sounds. Like that would be your horn, right?
Yeah. So
the bicycle, the baseball card in the bicycle spokes would be the sound of the thing moving.
And the thing that's great about the baseball card and the bicycle spokes, that's before my time. I didn't put anything on my bicycle spokes, and the only thing I really ever saw go on bicycle spokes in my childhood were those plastic little bead things that would slide up and down, usually on the girls' bikes. I think a few of them fell off of their bikes and onto the road, and I slapped like 2 of them on my bike, so my bike kind of had a little dink, 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 dink going on.
So did it make a sound?
Well, I mean, that wasn't the point of them, but they go up and down the spokes, so it kind of go doink, 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 and you get a bunch of them.
So not particularly loud.
It's not like a baseball card.
Right.
But my dad talking about doing that in his childhood. Of course, you didn't just pull the duds out to do that. You'd pull out the best cards, and that's from the era where the best cards have become very valuable. So
exactly,
there are a lot of people out there that cringe. Probably
oh my God, my Roger Maris or whatever it was,
Mickey Mantle or
Mickey
Babe
Mantle,
Ruth
or
right. But yeah. But Sparky did that. Sparky did the bike spokes baseball card.
Right
thing.
on, Sparky. I knew you were
Yeah.
the man.
Yeah, no, he's the man with a dog, as that song that we had AI generate. He has no dog, but AI made a song about Sparky Toaster that sang all about how he has a dog in a cabin by a fire.
Wow.
Maybe we need to make a new
Wow.
version of that song and add the baseball card thing into it in the next verse. But
Because that would be one part of the song that would be true, right?
yes, we could actually get something. See, this was before I figured out that you should update your prompts with suggestions rather than just tell it, hey, make a song about Sparky Toaster and keep saying, well, now add more, no, I'll now add more. The AI is like, I have nothing to work with, so let's make up a dog.
How do we work in that Sparky went to see Dune, picked up that scaffolding, went to your house and painted it?
Oh, man, you threw in a few inside jokes there. You're getting the hang of this NHB thing.
I know it. I know it. Hey, I was on a few of those shows.
Oh, man, but no,
Is that server officially dead, by the way?
Yes. The server gave up the ghost, and there was just no practical reason to rebuild. There just wasn't. Our listener base is just not there. It's here.
Well, when
on,
you've got
on Twitch
stuff like
and YouTube.
YouTube and Twitch,
Yeah.
you don't need to spend effort on a server.
And normally I'm the king of impractical, so you'd think I'd be the first one that'd be like, "Damn it, Rico, you're rebuilding that server." But then again, like
But
first of all, I'm not the one
thing-
that's going to say anything to Rico. We're not exactly chummy. So
Sure. But the only thing is that you no longer have a forum to have discussions where you can kick everybody else out and all that bullshit, right?
I could kick you out of this, but but I wouldn't.
Yeah,
do
but
that.
that's different. I mean, the chat forum.
Oh man, there hasn't been. Oh man, back in the day, there was the discussion groups or but even that was on and off at times.
Oh yeah,
You know.
when you would get kicked out and then re-invited back in.
Invited as a staff on the discussion groups and the staff list and things like that. And that was now Zelos writing in. I would say it is crazy that Rico would still be holding a grudge, but I know Rico. I don't think Rico holds a grudge, and I don't hold a grudge either. Although I will say, as much as I say I don't hold a grudge, if I start talking about some of those times and some of those issues, my opinions and feelings about a lot of those things have not necessarily changed. But I do generally try to enter any lines of thought about those things as an acknowledgement that, there were disagreements and that doesn't, I'm not necessarily right all the time. I think there were situations of differences of opinions that weren't always handled the best. And but I hold no.
Well, it was. I always thought it was rather absurd that things just got volatile.
Well,
like
when you
whatever.
care about something, you feel strongly about it, and it was something NHB has been something that I cared enough about that it was worth getting angry about. Not that it was a good idea. But
then you get everybody gets angry, which becomes kind of pointless.
I'm not going to rehash these stories because I've rehashed them so many times. And at this point, if I were ever to rehash them again, it should be with someone else interviewing me, asking me the questions and steering the conversation.
Okay, so let's talk about this last one here. Ventrilo was the shit. Is that good shit or bad shit?
Good shit. No, that was because we had a Ventrilo server, which was kind of like remember we had the team talk where we could all talk in the same.
Yes.
There was a Ventrilo server that had just a public group chat that anyone listening to NHB and staff would often hang out in could just go in and chat at. And there was a time that we had enough of a listener base that not only do we have a talk list and discussion groups on there, but we had the Ventrilo room that people would come in with their microphones and talk on. and then we'd have our staff meetings in there, and Addie would join without a microphone just to piss off Damon. But that was
Of course.
Sparky, you ready to get all this talk about hash? Yeah, that not even the fun kind of hash. No, but all I want to say in my defense before I wanted to say in my defense before we pivoted away from it was that I was not the only angry one, and I'll just leave it at that.
No, of course not. No, that's fine.
No,
Yeah.
no. But I certainly, if you ask me anything about my feelings on Rico, my primary feelings on Rico is the dude really made a lot of it happen. And although I will always disagree with certain things that he did or certain decisions he made, one thing I will never disagree on is that he was probably the single person that devoted the most amount of his personal time into keeping the technical shit running. And if any of us owe anything to Rico, it's a great debt of gratitude.
Sure. Yeah.
And if I reached out to him, we'd probably be cool. It's just that I've never had a reason to reach out to him, and Dune's always had more of a cordial rapport with him. So in the last year,
because Dune is cool, right?
Yeah. Dune always played it cool. He played it cool. As long as you don't discuss certain topics, Dune played it cool.
That's right.
And if you do piss off Dune, he just turns around and walks away, which is the smart thing to do.
Exactly.
I think Dune was a reason a few times I came back to the station or was able to come back to the station. I think I owe just about any staff member I could think of.
Well, and to me, the whole thing was kind of silly because...
Well, I don't even know which thing you're talking about.
There's a radio station needs content.
Well, yeah.
Right? You don't have to like it. You don't have to hate it, whatever. It's just content.
Right.
You've got specific show hours and you would do it.
Well, a lot of the drama around NHB related to what you did after the hours of your show. And to be fair, that was one of the key things that made NHB so much different from all the other things like it that existed at the time. There was DEF CON radio, and the way they worked there was, I don't think they ever had a staff meeting. I'm not sure that people on staff knew everyone else that was on staff. I was on that station for a period of time, and I really didn't know much about any of the other shows or other people on them. There was never, I could have listened and called in maybe, but it never appealed to me. But DEF CON's policy, like when I went over to DEF CON and talked to Mark the DJ, he basically said, we do things different here. You connect in, you do your show, you disconnect, and you're done. That's it. Nothing else needed. You just pay this much every month, because over there everyone chipped in with a monthly fee for the server fees. And sure. That's it. There's no staff meeting, no obligations. You connect, you do your show, you disconnect, you're done.
And if you don't like it, you quit. You go someplace else.
Right. And whereas NHB, Damon had this grand vision, which elements of it existed at times and parts of it worked at times, which is part of why I had this vision, where it was more than just people that sharing a stream. It was a group of friends with a common goal of internet radio greatness. He loved that shit when people from different shows called in other people's shows, when jokes would run from one show to the next, when running jokes and to me it's like lightning in a bottle. You can't force that shit. It's amazing when it happens. It's great when it happens. It's worth embracing opportunities for it to happen. It's not worth trying to force it to happen. That was the big one. Of course, there's other things like clip shows for automation, make new promos, the basic stuff. And it was, sometimes it was hard to motivate people to even do the basics to maintain a station that was fresh and new and keeping up with their rerun material and promotions. But
right.
Viscerist writes in, ugh, Reckless Radio. I actually, I have a few of their full shows. I know somewhere I have a recording of the infamous show where they started like breaking the rules to intentionally to get fired. That was, it's a funny story, and I think those guys weren't bad guys. They were good guys. They just one of the hosts would not play ball, and anytime Damon would do a little bit of a rivalry type of thing, or throw the insults out, he just like come out full steam ahead, like to the point where David was like, whoa back down, man.
Right.
Oh man, I don't know, they were not. Plus they were, I think they were a group of people that were like interning at someone else's studio and using it in the off hours without asking permission. Dune knows that story. I forget the name of the guy whose studio they were working at, but it was yeah. But at Reckless Radio was there was no reason for them to go out the way they did, but it made for entertaining radio. It's unfortunate it pissed off Damon.
I'm curious, have you heard from Sir Mars?
I have not.
Okay.
I did send him the link. I didn't send him a text. I haven't heard from. He wasn't in Dune's show. He wasn't in the chat room on Dune's show yesterday.
Hey, Dune! Yay!
Dune wrote in, they were the original bad boys. Imagine working at McDonald's and then selling burgers out the place at night. I think it's more like working at McDonald's selling weed out the out the pickup window when customers say the right code word. Okay.
Right.
Oh, so they were working for Tom Lickis's studio, or Likas. I never heard of the guy actually, which is why I never remember the name. It's like, who? But yeah, they were working at his studio because I remember it's like they came out of nowhere, and then like Damon calls into the show, and a call screener picks up his call, puts him on hold, and then they pick up his call, and Damon's like, "What the heck? You got call screeners over there? Who are you people?"
Yo, Warhawk.
Yeah,
Warhawk.
of course they oh man, it was on Reckless Radio Show that I made my mistake of pissing off my biggest fan at the time, because I've told this story at some point within the last year or two. Was I had that I had that friend named Lisa, and I'm not going to say anything more. People who know, if you know, you know. And then there was Mystery Girl, and Mystery Girl and Lisa had kind of a cat fight type of mentality towards each other on the IRC chat room that the station had at the time.
Great.
And so Mystery Girl
Johnny pissed off someone? No way.
Yeah, I've pissed off a lot of people in my time.
Oh, well.
Apparently, I pissed off Blind Kid at some point. I'm still trying to figure out who that is so I can make that right. I absolutely want to make that right. And I'm absolutely on board to provide anything I can to efforts to preserve this legacy. But anyway, so Mystery Girl was like the #1 Gatorade. I had decided if Sloan had his Sloan drones, Johnny Gators can have his Gatorades as fans, and some of the people embraced that. For that term kind of fell out of use after a short period of time, and so she was the #1 Gatorade. But they were always antagonistic on the chat room, and Lisa got banned from the chat room because Rico, I think, and Mystery Girl, I think, were buddy, and Mystery Girl was given administrator status in the chat room there. And so the Reckless Radio crew were very curious to ask me all about this because, well, first of all, they were very curious about, so what's the deal with you and this Lisa chick? they were all over. I got on the phone. I don't know why I was calling them. I don't think I was calling them to talk about any of that. But next thing I know, they're pivoting to it. So what's the deal with you and this Lisa chick? And it's like, no, we're just friends. It's nothing like, we're just friends. We're gonna, I might have a birthday marked on my calendar that we might be counting down to, but we're just friends. And then they started asking about what's the deal with the whole mystery girl and Lisa thing. And I didn't want to talk about it because I never cared about it. I was friends with Lisa. I was friends with Mystery Girl, and whatever they had towards each other, I was not any of my business, and neither of them were asking for me to make it my business. So I had no opinion about it, and if I was smart, I would have said no comment, or I have no opinion about that, or I don't know. But, I was just going off the cuff with the flow. So I just, kind of make up whatever kind of sounds interesting or funny or whatever. So when I go, well, what's the deal with the whole thing between Lisa and Mr. Girl? I'm like, oh, I don't know anything about that. I don't know. Maybe there's some jealousy there or something. I don't know. I didn't even really think that through, or that would piss. I guess that's an example of how I could piss people off by not thinking about what I'm saying. Next thing I know, Mystery Girl is messaging me all kinds of pissed off. And she's not messaging me for an apology or to reconcile or anything. She's basically messaging me to tell me to kiss off. And that was the last. I don't remember the nature of. I'm guess I could be remembering it wrong. All I know is after I made that comment, somehow it was brought to my attention that Mystery Girl was very angry at me, and she was not going to speak to me again. And it might have been in the chat room she went off on me. It could have been a message, could have been a chat room. I don't even really remember anymore. Zelos writing in, Johnny is such a stud. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think so. Not at all. I might come off a little self-indulgent when I talk about these times, but I'm not that delusional.
What makes you a stud? Because you have hung drywall, right?
Well, yeah, and
it's as close as you can get to it.
It takes studs to hang drywall.
Yes,
I'm not hung drywall. I've patched drywall.
But you've nailed in or screwed into.
I've screwed into studs. I have screwed. Well, no, I don't think that's what I want to say either, Brian. You're not helping me.
Oh, shoot.
And speaking of saying things I didn't mean to say, I think if I search on this network share of mine, I might be able to find some things, some doozies I've said. So I'm just going to search for the word gators on this drive and see if that brings up any isolations that people have sent me over the years, because I'm not even sure how I've looked through this, and I should have made notes of here's something Liam made for me when I made my feelings on the song We Built This City on Rock and Roll known. And now the search just moved that off of my screen and I can't play it. No, where the hell did it go? Okay. All right. Let's see. What is this? Gators is a hypocrite? Tell me it isn't so.
Basement writes in, I gag on the cake, shoving fistfuls of cake into my face, hoping some gets in my mouth. I have some clipping to do. Oh no! No! No!
Okay, so that was that happened. Oh, here we go. Here's what I was talking about.
Gator's favorite song.
Let's see. This one's just called Gators. I have no idea what this is.
Hi, this is Johnny Gators.
Oh, that's a testimonial. That's why it's just labeled with my name. That's. I still have all those. Yeah, we don't need that. We get the NHB Anti-Gators Lynch Mob and Match Game.mp3. That's only good for the match game, and that's been an automation, so I'm sure people have that. Oh, here we go. Here's one.
I would happily fillet Damon.
I don't know about that.
Hi, I'm a fag.
Nope.
Show me some man love.
That was totally taken out of context.
I gotta
Be the type of guy that would make me go gay.
I gotta get some water real quick. Hang on.
Okay. All right. So he's gonna get water, and I think that's here's some of the good ones.
Gators gives me hope.
Thank you, Damon. That was good.
He might be the type of guy that would make me go gay.
Oh, a second copy of that one. We needed 2 of those.
No. Like, put it in my mouth.
Yeah, okay.
No.
I'm nude.
No, I'm.
And then I don't know what's going to happen. But it's probably going to involve a lot of alcohol and a lot of whipped cream.
Yeah.
My real doll just broke the other night. Fuck me with your wiener! More wiener! More wiener!
I was quoting someone else.
I'm jealous of Johnny Gators.
All right, that's a good one. So, and then the one time that my dad was on the show.
Amateur hour.
I need to talk to Mom.
Oh.
Sparky writes in, don't you say that word on Twitch, you get banned for it. Ask me how I know. That was a recording of someone else, I'm sure. Let's see. Zillis writes in, or I'm successful from the beer shake episode. I don't know why I clipped that one and put that in there. I guess it was funny the way it sounded so drunk, which I was. Now Zealous wants the beef in my teeth isolation. Oh, I probably still have those. Well, I isolated them out of the original recording, so it's not like. In fact, with AI, people could probably make cleaner isolations of that today. Let me see if I've got any of that. Let me see if I still have the original isolations for that promo. I mean, I've remade that promo a few times. No, wait a minute. That wasn't my promo. Oh, wait. Damon made the original promo, and then I added the sound effects to it. So I did have those isolations because I added them to Damon's promo. And then I kept re-editing it to update the times and that was the invention of the Gators edit.
Where's the beef?
Nope, that's not the right beef sound effect. Okay, I don't have those well, let's see what else I have in this hard drive. Let's see. My promos. Okay. All right. Amway promo 2016. Be Good Johnny. Damon's Mean. Dare to be Stupid. Oh, here we go. This probably. But I don't think this has the isolations anymore. Well, that was weird. Okay. All right. So this folder has some of the isolations that were used. So that's the that was me puking. that was not a very happy sounding puke right there. I'm gonna have to put that on the soundboard. How have I forgotten about that? That is such a. All right, let's see what this is.
I am successful.
There it is. There it is, Zalos. Tell you what I'm going to do for you is what I'm going to do for that is I'm going to copy that and name that Gators. I am successful. And I'm going to go throw that in the Discord right now for you to grab and play for all your friends. Since you requested it. Zelos writes in, literally the sound of a man drinking his own vomit from a blender. And that is what that is. Let's see. What's this one?
I am successful.
Oh, that's no. What's this one?
I got beef in my teeth.
There it is. I think I got to put all those isolations up onto the Discord there. Let's see. Gators, I've got beef in my teeth. There we go. Let's go throw that into the Discord. And then we got to get the Gators puke sound effect, because that is just epic right there, which is this one here, I believe. Yeah, that does not sound good. Gators puke. There we go. Let's throw that into there. And it looks like Brian is sitting back down. Brian, you know what you missed out on?
Oh no, what?
Tell me, tell me how this sound effect makes you feel.
Someone got sick.
Does that make you feel like you're gonna get sick too if you hear that too much?
Not really. It's pretty bad though.
It is pretty bad. That is yeah, let's see what other promos I have that I've made. I mean, I've got all the, let's see. Oh, here we go. We got the Wake Up with Gators.
Hey, this is Johnny Gators, reminding you to tune in every Monday through Friday morning at 5:30 a.m. for Wake Up with Gators. 5 minutes of listening to my dryer squeal. You won't want to miss it. That's every Monday through Friday morning at 5:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Fucky Dogga, right here on NHB Radio Network.
So there was that.
Right.
Let's see what else. What else do I have? I have let's see. Any Suburban Homeboys moves to Wednesdays.
Hi, this is Johnny Gators with an important announcement about the Suburban Homeboys. We will be changing time
With
slots,
yodeling.
so mark your calendars and tune in to the Suburban Homeboys on Wednesdays, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. Pacific, right here on your favorite internet radio station.
That was my way to make a promo for 2 radio stations at the same time without having to overdub a different line at the end of it.
Hey, why not, right?
Yeah. Now,
Sufficiency.
Dude writes in 5:30. Where did you work? Well, that was when I worked at the bank in Damariscotta, and I had to drive there from Lincolnville, and it was a bit of a commute, and I had to be there at like opening time to be ready for support or calls or anything that would come in. The joke for that was that this story reflects negatively on my laziness, but it's true. Because what I would do in the morning is what a normal person would do is they'd buy like maybe 5 dress shirts, and every weekend they would do their laundry, and then they would either hang them up immediately out of the dryer or they would iron them and hang them up nicely, and then every morning they'd wake up at 5:30, take their dress shirt off of the hanger and put it on nice and neatly pressed and put on their tie. What Gators did was roll out of bed at 5:30 in the morning, grab a dress shirt off of a pile of clean clothes, throw it into the dryer, and let the dryer run for 5 minutes in the morning to heat up the shirt and release the wrinkles so that I could put on a shirt that doesn't look like I just grabbed it from a ball of a pile of clean clothes. And the problem with this was that the dryer had developed a squeal, and the squeal was disruptive to Gothard, who's trying to sleep at 5:30, and every 5:30 he's awoken to the sound of that awful squeal. And so I think the joke is that anytime we were telling the story on the show, I'd say, here, let me demonstrate, and I'd put the microphone on the dryer and I turn it on, and then it wouldn't squeal. So the joke is that the dryer knew it was being mic'd and wouldn't squeal anytime we were recording it or trying to demonstrate. So I decided, well, if I just connect in and do a show every morning, then the dryer wouldn't squeal and it wouldn't disrupt Gothard. And so a new show was born at 5:30 every morning. We only did it for like 2 or 3 mornings. I lost the recordings of those shows, though, but it was basically a very tired Gator saying, hey, it's time for Wake Up with Gators. I'm going to go throw my shirt in the dryer now. Now, Zalos asks a very good question. I do still have all of the voicemail recordings that we did over the years. So let me see. I think I have one easy to find, very good representation of that. And that is, I have a recording of a time that Grammy called in live while we were doing the show.
I got the munchies so bad that I turned their vending machine upside down. It was a really little one.
Hey, hold on a second.
Hello?
Hello?
Oh, it's Grammy. I figured she'd call. We're actually doing our radio show right now, but Seth is going to go get the other phone and be right with you.
Oh, thank you. I'm sorry to bother.
Oh, it's no bother at all.
Incidentally, Jonathan, you'll check the mail next week while he's gone, won't you?
Oh, of course I will.
Sure. Because it might be gone. It depends on who comes here. But
I'll make sure I check on my way home.
okay, great.
Okay. Seth, you got that?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
So that's a nice little that's such a I remember when I played that clip once and Mars was like, oh my god, what a great Maine accent that is. And that absolutely is. She really had a great authentic Maine accent. Somewhere I have a folder of voicemails though, and I don't know where that ended up. I'm gonna have to see if I can find that. Let's see. Let's see. I have Vamp's voicemail.
You're supposed to put your code in.
That was Vamp checking his voicemail. Let's see. I have Skype voicemail.
All right. Hi, you're reaching the Holds Bar Radio Network. Go fuck yourself. This station sucks. Leave Hello, my name is James. Hey, leave a stupid voicemail, and we might play it and ridicule you. But if you hang up after the beep, I'm going to come to your house with a fucking chainsaw and saw your kid in half and feed the 2 halves to your fucking ugly fat wife.
Wow.
That was funny at the time.
No, I can see how it could be funny.
Yeah,
but it's just a bit over the top.
Just a little. Here we are leaving Damon a voicemail.
I'm going to reach out one more time on the Skype just to see if we can get Damon to pick up. Now that I've, made it clear that, we're sincere here. Just want to say hey. Just want to...
I don't detect any passive aggressiveness in my voice at all.
Well, there's that wonderful voice message that, I like your style of minimalism when it comes to voicemail greetings. Simple, direct, and makes quite a strong impact. I don't know.
It makes the user think what they want to think.
Because we all know what to do after the beep. We don't need that whole, hey, I can't take your call right now, but if you leave a message after the beep, we all know that. Why do we keep saying this when we all know that? But you, sir, have figured out that we don't need this anymore. And the fact I'm leaving you a message proves just how much we don't need voicemail greetings anymore in order to do this. So, you have saved... For every phone call, that saves like 15 seconds of everyone's time. So,
if we just figured out how to get rid of the beep and go right into voicemail.
Well, you have to know when to start. You have to know when the recording starts. So you need the beep.
I see.
You need the beep. Although we might be able to make the beep a little short.
Half the beep.
There you go. But anyways, once again, give me a call. Talk to you later. Bye. There we go.
Oddly enough, I don't think he ever called me back. I don't think he did. Looks like we left Vamp a voicemail once.
Yeah, and by the way, there are like a ton of people on Skype, just to let you know. And remember, this we are holding Dune and Bob rules here. That if you don't call us, we can call you. And
we can.
We have lots of people call. We could even call Video Vamp and actually ring it to his own cell phone,
and then leave a message that he'll never check.
Yeah, we can. And just to show you how that works. Let's see if I can make this. No, I don't want the profile. I want to call him.
Meanwhile, Nick writes in, it's so nice to hear Dune without John, and way better with Gators and Lurker. Meanwhile, in the history, the last thing he sent a bunch of Sailor Moon BitTorrent to John.
Oh, isn't that nice?
Isn't that nice? So he's
That's
like, hey,
kinda-
John,
creepy.
you're my buddy, you're my guy, here, have some Sailor Moon stuff, and that John's just not funny.
Hello, this is Jason Bache. You reached my answering machine. Please leave me a message after the tone, and I will get back to you. Thank you.
Lurker, you can take this one.
I can. I don't know what to say.
Where's the tone?
There's the tone.
Yeah.
Does it beep?
Hey, listen, Jason, where's the damn tone?
Yeah, you
I
said
didn't hear.
something
Did
about
you hear a tone?
I did not hear a tone.
I did not hear a tone.
I was confused. I was
There
like,
was
do I
no-
talk now?
There
do
was
I talk
no
later?
tone.
I don't think we're supposed to be talking
There
here.
was absolutely no tone. I am
You
pissed.
suck.
Yes, fix your shit. Thank you. There.
That takes care of that.
Don't tell us to leave a damn message at a tone and not have a tone.
I know. What the hell's up with
I mean,
that?
I'd even take, Tone Loc or something like that. I'm dating myself now. It's like, who? Tone who? So there you go, Jason. You've been pwned. Is that the word? It's not, I don't think there's a P in there. I screwed that up. John gets so mad.
I think it's spelled with a P, but you don't actually pronounce it.
That's what it is.
Like a P. Yeah, I don't get it myself.
In all the years I've had these two clips, I have never thought to pair them up. But isn't that just perfect? One voicemail greeting, no greeting, just a beep. Another one, the greeting, no beep. Is that perfect or what? I think that just shows that the world just balances things out. And then also we left Vamp a voicemail to wish him a Merry Christmas. Me and my siblings did on Christmas Eve 2006.
Oh, let's leave a message.
He never checks his messages, though.
We'll leave it anyway for fun.
Should we leave some music?
Is not available.
What the fuck was that?
That was his, like...
To leave a callback
Okay,
number.
let's go. What are we gonna do? We're gonna just talk.
It's singing him a song.
Yeah, what song?
Jingle
Frosty
bells.
the Snowman bells jingle all the way.
Oh,
Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh.
Hey!
Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh.
Merry Christmas, Video Vamp!
Merry Christmas.
From the Gators family.
Yeah.
And MHB.
Ew, you just picked your nose.
I scratched my nostril.
Oh, okay, yeah. Oh,
Is this on his message too?
Yes. We're still leaving a message.
Okay, let's hang up now.
He picked
Hang
it.
up.
He picked his nose.
Okay.
That's a good message.
That was a good
If I
message.
got that, that would make me so happy.
I don't think Vamp ever called me back either. All these messages, no one ever calls back. I don't know. Brian, maybe we should start leaving you. Would you call back if I left you a message like that?
Oh man. Maybe.
Well, I
Did
guess
you
I
guys
should-
leave a phone number?
Well, it's there. You don't even have to leave your number anymore. You just hit the call back button on the voicemail.
That's true.
Well, I guess the $1 million question is,
if you have a landline still.
Yeah, but I don't call your landline, even if you had one. I don't know if you have one.
I do.
I'd only call your cell number. I guess the real question is, if I call your cell number at 11 p.m. on Christmas Eve, is it set to silent so that I don't disrupt you and can just quietly leave a message for you to get the next morning?
No, chances are I'm watching TV, so I'll even pick it up. No
Okay.
voicemail required.
And then I could be like, oh, I was going to leave you a voicemail, but I guess now I'm going to sing to you. Get ready.
If I recognize who it is, I think I'll just ignore it and let it go to voicemail.
No, you got to put that on speakerphone. Let the whole family enjoy it. But anyways, some let's see. Zalos asking if I've that is it's been a while. There's a lot of baggage there. She's, as far as I know, she's still alive. One of these days, hopefully, I'll have a happy update. Anyways, let's. Why am I laughing? Because what else can I do? Let's see if I can actually find the real Grammy voicemails. Man, I somewhere I had that or maybe I called it answering machine. Because I know I had a folder with all those. Here we go. Here we go. I think this is the folder.
Hi, if you have a message for John Arcette, leave it here. If you're looking for a tree farm, there's no tree farm here. We also do not sell roses or pumpkins. We're very sorry about this. Thanks. Bye.
That was fun. That was funny.
Message. Hello, this is the Rose Patrol. We're looking for pumpkin-seeded roses. Have any pumpkin-seeded roses? I know you don't sell roses, and I don't sell you pumpkins. But maybe you have pumpkin-seeded roses.
Saturday, 12:37 p.m.
This was
End of messages.
This was a running joke in our trailer because we literally every winter would get phone calls looking for the tree farm because we had a phone number that once belonged to a tree farm. Zealous running in. I've been out of the loop for over a decade, so I don't know. Yeah, no, I there's a lot of things that few people know, and it's difficult when a topic comes up that it's like, oh man, I can't talk about any of that. So I'm sorry about that. But I do appreciate you asking. I absolutely appreciate you asking. I think, if anything, I do like passing along at those moments that I'm in contact with people that people still ask and people still care. So if I get a response one of these times when I send a 2 a.m. drunken Facebook message and see if I get a response to catch up on the insanity on that side of the globe, I'll have to pass along that people still ask. So let's see what this voicemail
Hi,
is.
if you have a message for John Arcette, leave it here. If you're looking for a tree farm, there's no tree farm here. We also do not sell roses or pumpkins. We're very sorry about this. Thanks. Bye.
I think that was like the third version of that.
Messages.
Hi, good morning. This message is for John. John, this is Jenny Curtis returning your phone call in regards to programming on Sunday, and I apologize for any inconvenience the BCS selection show caused you. However, we did run the Simpsons, Family Guy, and American Dad lineup starting at 8:30. If you have any other questions or concerns, please feel free to call me at 207-347-7325.
Oh, whoa.
Now, for a limited time only, get 60 bonus minutes with your next purchase of a TracFone airtime card. Talk gets cheaper when you stay with
Okay, that's boring.
TracFone.com or at 70.
So, anyways, that was before things escalated to the police department being called at me with the whole Simpsons air date fiasco. And Zalos is trying to get a hold of Andrew. When did I last? Because Andrew was still doing shows with that younger girlfriend for a while, but that was a long time ago. Trying to think when I last heard from him. I wonder if Damon stayed in touch with him. I wonder if I can get Damon to call me back. Oh, I think, you know what? I should reach out to some people at some point. I just need to find a good reason to.
Hi, this is the refrigerator. The machine is broken, but if you leave your message for John or Seth, I'll kindly write it down and stick it to myself.
11 messages archivés.
I don't know what this is.
Lundi, 3h13 p.m.
Hi.
Jeudi, 7h.
Oh, we set the answering machine to speak a different language.
4h57
French.
p.m.
Hi. Just wondered what's going on.
Oh, these are Grammy voicemails.
Dimanche, 9h43 a.m.
Hi.
Dimanche, 10h02 a.m. Dimanche, 3h58 p.m.
That's going to be interesting.
Mardi,
Do you have a message for Jonathan or Seth? Please leave it here.
I guess Gothic got bored of the.
Monday, 5
That was a hang up.
p.m.
Seth, please call me.
There it is.
I hope you're home.
Monday,
Is that Grammy again?
Yeah, it was Grammy.
p.m.
Just checking to see if you got telephone. I haven't got any TV, but I seem to have telephone. How about you?
How many times did she call?
It'd be during the day while we're out at work. That's the thing. And she during this period of time, she lived alone and in her house and you know, so I think she got bored because she'd leave multiple messages and then she'd complain that she hates the voice on the answering machine, even though it was my voice and she had no problems with my voice in person. I don't think she ever understood our humor on the answering machine, which is why I think Seth eventually just left a, you know, plain message on there and was like, yeah, let's just do that now. But we'd come back from work and there'd be like, you know, 4 or 5 messages from her on there. And we always checked in with her when we got home. So but you know, she was bored. She was lonely, you know, so she talked to the answering machine.
Hello, this is Jonathan and Seth's answering machine. We are currently out of trees this year, as our tree farm was burnt down by aliens.
I like it.
Yeah. Wait till you see what we got.
2 messages.
I wondered if Seth was coming down. I haven't seen him today. So I kind of wondered before I went and got a sandwich made. So have him call me as soon as he comes in, please.
She talks to the answering machine like it's an entity sometimes.
Wednesday, 4:53.
I think this is the good one.
Yes, hi, my name is Rachel. I'm calling from Millinocket, and I found your number on the website for tree farms, and I was just curious if it was a, cut your own tree, and if you were open today. If you could call me back, that would be great. My number here is 4440000, and again, my name is Rachel. Thank you. Have a good day.
Saturday, 10:30.
She did not get the. I think maybe that voicemail was left before we changed the outgoing message, and because we got another one where someone was like, "Oh man, we're really sorry to hear." Oh, let me see if I have that one. I should have that one somewhere, or maybe it's.
Do you have a message for Jonathan or Seth?
No, that's too early. This seems too late.
Hi, we can't come to the phone right now, but if you have a message for Seth or Jonathan, please leave it after the beep. Thanks. Have a nice day.
8 old messages.
Oh, we had an outgoing message that was a Twilight Zone themed one, and that was in response to that.
Okay, dear. You there?
Okay, I don't know what happened to the one that took the fire thing seriously, but it's
Hi, if you have a message for John or Seth, leave it here. If you're looking for a tree farm, there's no tree farm here. We also do not sell roses or pumpkins.
Oh, this one again.
Thanks. Bye.
8 old messages.
We're just gonna do a few more of these and move on.
Calling for Seth. I understand you're looking for Voters last few decades, ever since I fell off, and we've got one just for you. It's your name's inscribed on it and everything, so I figured you'd probably want it. You can pay for it in 5 very easy installments of $79.95. Hope all is well. Take care. Bye.
One of Gothard's friends.
Monday, 4:05 p.m.
Hey, Seth, I was trying to call a tree farm, and some dickhead named Joey Thorpe stole my phone and left some obscene message for you. Anyway, just wanted to, I want to apologize. First of all, I got your message. I was away.
The rest of that's boring. Yeah, so that was some of the highlights there of the answering machine greetings we did over the years back then. But, yeah, so, Zelos actually lived with Andrew for a bit. Wow. I was there a few times. His family's great. I met his my favorite story about Andrew's family was Andrew's mom meeting Damon for the first time. I don't know if you've heard this story. I've certainly told it enough times. I think we've all told it enough times. So I the first time we went out and met Andrew and his brother and Bob Stein in person was I came down from Maine and made plans with Damon. I was coming down for reasons, visit family, things like that, and I had figured, hey, I'll make some time to hang out with Damon. And I think that was when, I don't know if it was the first time or the second time that Vamp was there or something like that. Zelos Redigan, nothing like waking up to an Italian family screaming full volume at each other. Oh, yes, that is so... Oh, I got a few more stories. Andrew's mom cut my hair, too, says Zelos. So, anyways, these all kind of blur together. So, I want to say the first time we went out there was actually during a period of time when I was on DEF CON after my first quitting. But for some reason, I was going to be in Jersey, and of course, I was still getting along with Damon. It's just that, conditions were what they were, that I was kind of, cooling down over at DEF CON, waiting for things to cool down over there. And so I called up, you know what? Yeah, somehow I ended up making plans with Damon to go hang out with and I think Vamp had flown there and was staying at Andrew's family's house. And so I met Vamp like earlier during that trip, actually, because there was some kind of a funeral happening that all of Andrew's family had to attend. And so Vamp's like, yeah, I got to cancel because like they're all going to a funeral. I'm like, okay, well, but what are you doing? Are you going to the funeral too? He's like, dude, someone died. I'm like, yeah, I get that. I'm just asking you, what are you doing? Are you going to the funeral? And he's like, oh, no, I'm hanging around. I'm like, well, dude, while they're at the funeral, let's get a train into the city. I'll get a train up to the city. We'll hang out at the city for an afternoon. And he's like, yeah, okay. So, I get the train up there, and that we had never met in person. We had only talked on the phone multiple times, quite a bit. We were friends at that point. And so I'm like, oh, this would be cool. Get to actually meet this friend of mine in person for the first time. And I get up there. I had a flip phone at the time, track phone that I'd add minutes from cards on. That's what, and he had his cell phone or whatever. So I get to not South Station. That's Boston. I get to Penn Station, and we're trying to figure out how to find each other. So I call him up. I'm like, hey, and he's like, oh, why don't you meet me by, and he starts describing something. I have no idea where it is. And I'm like, well, why don't you meet me by, and we're trying to find landmark. And so finally I realize I'm standing right in front of the Kmart at Penn Station. And so I'm like, well, hey, Vamp, do you know where the Kmart is? He goes, yeah, I know where the Kmart is. I'm like, why don't you meet me there? And he goes, well, I'm already there right now. And I look around, and there he is holding his phone. We're there practically standing 5 feet apart from each other, trying to negotiate where to go to meet.
That's
and
funny.
yeah, and so we went to the bodies exhibit, is what we did. and attracted a crowd throughout the. I don't know. Are you familiar with the Bodies exhibit, Brian? It's like
Philly?
well, it's a touring show, I believe. But it's like those bodies that are like for science have been preserved, and it's different. I guess the people that have signed their bodies over to science, and in this case, some of them have been used for exhibits. And so there's, it's very much, if you're interested in anatomy and biological science like that. I will say I would have never chosen it, but it was a fascinating exhibit, and I had a good time.
It does sound a little creepy.
It is creepy. It's not for everyone. But Vamp, being very knowledgeable like he is, he started like describing things and pointing things out. And at some point, there was like a group of people that were like hovering with us, listening to him like he was some kind of a museum tour guide walking us through. It was, yeah. And so then later on that same trip, I made arrangements. Somehow we worked out arrangements. I go hang out with Damon, and then we drive out to Andrew's parents or Andrew's family's place. And that's when we all met Andrew and what was his little brother's name? Oh God, on the tip of my tongue here. And Bob Stein, and we did a show together. I think that was the show that we did the photo shoot with Damon to help him set up a dating profile to try to get him a girlfriend. A lot of I probably have a recording of that show somewhere. I'm sure the NHB archive probably has a recording of that show. I hope so. I have a few take it or leave it shows, I think, because they would come on after me. So sometimes if they didn't go on, I just put on a replay for them. Yeah, what was the point? Was I going somewhere with the story? Oh, yes. So we get there, we're hanging out, we're having a good time. Andrew's mom gets home, and she comes in. And somehow, like, Damon walks right into the door as she opens it, and she says to him, "What, are you blind or something?" And then she immediately thought to herself, "Oh, wait a minute! I think one of his friends is blind." And we all just died of laughter. It's like, well, yes, as a matter of fact. Yeah. So, and then I remember, speaking of Italian family, yelling, at some point, I don't know if it was that trip or the next trip, their family had a boat. So we ended up going out to the boat. I think it was still the same first trip because I think I crashed there overnight or something like that. I know I slept overnight at, in their studio, one night and had breakfast with them in the morning. Yes, they did eat their Flintstones chewables. And we go out to hang out on the boat, take the boat out, and Andrew's dad was very concerned about the weight distribution of the boat. So they picked me and Bob Stein to sit near the front of the boat to help weigh it down because we were the two heaviest people on the boat. Which was kind of boring because, like, Bob Stein's a nice guy, but I barely knew the guy. So we're like, Andrew and Damon and they're all kind of, and Vamp are all laughing outside there, and me and Bob Stein are sitting in the front of this boat because Andrew's dad wants the weight distributed properly. So at some point we just whatever, we get up, we go back there, we're having a good time, and the boat breaks down, and we're just, and at this point, like, all the boats are coming back in, and we're just stuck, and Andrew's dad is blaming this on Andrew because we didn't distribute the weight properly, and somehow that caused the boat to break down. And I remember at some point I'm inside the boat, and Andrew's dad is like getting pissed, and I look to my right, and there's nothing there, and I look to my left, and there's a little closet there, and so I just took a little side step into the closet. I'm like, I'm just I don't think there's any danger here, but I'm just gonna stand in here until the yelling stops. And it was whatever. Yeah, he's like, yeah, you gotta distribute. Andrew's like, yeah, what are you talking about? It's they did the little back and forth, and then basically it was, we need to call for a tow. We called for a tow, and then at some point, the bobbing up and down starts happening. Brian, have you spent time on a boat just sitting stationary in water that a lot of other boats are going by in?
Sure.
That's when the seasick happens.
Oh yeah.
I was trying my hardest. I did not get sick. I did not. Though if I were to get sick, we all know what it would have sounded like. Yeah, but that did not happen on that boat. But I came damn close to it. I remember I basically was like, all right, I got to get outside. I got to get fresh air. I got to sit down and I got to just focus every bit of my being on not puking. And that is what I did. And I'm sitting there probably turning 3 different shades of green. And I think, Andrew's like, yo, Haas, Gators, you all right there? Like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine. Are you sure? You look, I'm fine. I'm fine. And we got towed in and I didn't puke and that was fine. So let's see what Zalos wrote in. LOL, Andrew, Mike, yes. Andrew, Mike, Bob, and I actually spent a long weekend gambling in Atlantic City. Bob Stein and I stayed up all night at a 24/7 pub in the boardwalk and got absolutely smashed because some guy and his wife wouldn't stop buying us beers. He bought each of us like 8 giant Guinness. Great time. That sounds like it. Damn, now I'm getting a little jealous. They were fun people to hang out with. They weren't drinking back then, though, when I would hang out with them. But then again, I'm not sure how old they were at that time. But, yeah. I don't know. Brian, what do you think of all this?
Sounds kind of like standard.
Oh man, I didn't mean to monopolize this whole. Now, Brian, we've been away for a few weeks. What have you been up to the past few weeks while we had our little brief pause in live shows?
Not too much. I've been kind of goofing around with my Raspberry Pi.
I've kind of. Well, I mean, I got my car Pi right where I want it. And so I haven't been fiddling with it any. I've been trying to get my other Pis to stream my music out the HDMI, and I keep running into problems. And AI convinced me that I was absolutely right, that that this is bullshit and this thing doesn't work right. And so I used AI to craft a bunch of responses to Raspberry Pi forums to try to get this across so that we get a solution, but they're all responding back saying that I'm nuts. So I don't know if I'm nuts or the AI's nuts or the Pi forum people are nuts, but at some point I gotta digest the responses there and get it. But every time I do, I end up getting pissed off and screaming at a little box that can't do anything.
Right.
No, but what have you been making your Pi do?
Well, I'm trying to figure out how to. I'm trying to get them to cluster.
Cluster? Oh, so you get like some kind of a super Pi out of multiple Pis?
Exactly.
Now you know what I've been playing with. Blueberry Pi.
Cool.
Yeah. I've been.
Is that a pie to eat?
Funny you should ask that. Let me see if I can find. I actually have this. Oh, here we go. Here it is. So when I started 8th grade, my 8th grade teacher had transferred to 8th grade from teaching 1st grade, and so the first day of class she didn't come up with anything new to do. And so she had us do the same thing she had her 1st graders do the first day of class, which was, here's a bunch of Better Homes and Gardens magazines from my home. Go through it and make a collage about yourself that represents who you are, and then I'll hang them all up in the back of the classroom for the whole year. And that's the type of activity that it works for 1st graders and it works for 8th graders. And that is when my ADD brain took a look at this, and I was like, ooh, recipes. I think I'll start clipping recipe. I had never clipped recipes or baked in my life before that, but that was my new hobby right then and there. And that is how I started getting on my baking hobby. And at some point through gathering these recipes, they used to have these like fold out advertisements that were advertisement recipes because they were basically recipes to get you to buy cans of sweetened condensed milk or pie filling. And so there are these like really easy basic recipes that use these like, pie filling, sweetened condensed milk, different brand things. And I had this recipe for a blueberry cheesecake pie. And I made the recipe, and it was fucking awesome. And everyone loved it. And I made this recipe a few times. Now, I know when I made this recipe, I used fresh blueberries at least one time. I used frozen blueberries another time. I did not use a can ready-made pie filling. And this was, when I was just starting to learn how to bake. So I wasn't, tweaking things or inventing my own recipes. I was just following it to the letter on the card. So I am fairly certain I found this card. It called for fresh blueberries. It called for a can of sweetened condensed milk and real lemon juice in the cheese layer. And that's what was on the card, and that's what I made. Now, at some point, I lost the card. And this is like the one that got away, because I still have my other recipes I clipped from that time. But we spent some time at the time my grandparents' lake house in Pennsylvania. And I took the card with me to the lake house so I could make the pie at some point while I was there. And I did make it there. But somehow the recipe never made it back into the recipe book after that trip to the lake. And I never quite was able to find it again or recreate it right. So where does that bring us now? Well, where that brings us now is I went looking on the internet, and I found this image of the same recipe card. And this is what the recipe card looked like. It had this green border like this. It called for Borden's Eagle brand sweetened condensed milk. I remember that picture. That is the picture that the recipe card I had on it, except this recipe card calls for a can of Comstock blueberry pie filling. That is not what I did. Whoops. So I don't know if this is like some kind of a Mandela effect thing or something. I've shifted into a different reality where or more likely, maybe there were two versions of this ad in the same recipe.
That sounds like it. I mean,
so
did everything else look the same though, as far as the recipe went?
Yeah, everything else looks the same in this recipe. In fact, I mean, like I said, I remember that picture. My card had that same picture on it.
Yeah, I know. But I mean, everything else. When you look at the recipe and how it's put together, does it look the same?
Yeah.
Other than you're using a different brand of pie filling.
Well, it's not just a different brand of pie filling. It's that pie filling is not the same as using fresh blueberries because it's got syrup in it.
Oh, I see. So, yeah.
Whereas I had blueberries and a certain amount of sugar. Like I know there was sugar in the recipe that went on the blueberries because I remember having the blueberries in a little strainer, rinsing it with the water, and then when I was at the lake house, I grabbed the box of sugar that's been in the cabinet since God knows when, and I pour out the sugar, and all the ants start crawling around. And so we had to clean that up, and then I had to walk down the street to the little corner general store that was there with the candy counter, the old lady named Helen that we'd buy penny candy from, and ask her if she had a box of sugar she could sell us. And sure enough, she had a box of sugar, and I bought it, and I finished making the pie. Yeah, that is, and I'm fairly certain I wasn't just inventing my own blueberry layer to replace the can of filling. That's just was not how I baked back then. So anyways, I've been trying to recreate the old recipe by basically following other blueberry pie recipes for that layer, but I'm getting the ratios off because I use 2 cups of blueberries, 3/4 cup of sugar, a few tablespoons of flour, and dot with butter. And the problem was it looked like I had a good room for a second layer, but then I mix up the cheese layer and I pour it on top of the blueberry layer, and I have too much cheese layer. So I've got to try it with less blueberries next time. But I really want to find that card that has a recipe I remember. I want to confirm that I'm not crazy about this. So I actually put this post up on Reddit asking if anyone else has seen a version of this card that doesn't call for pie filling. And I also, as kind of a little extra bonus, I posted some clippings of other similar recipes that I found, because Better Homes and Gardens has archived every issue that they've published on their website for free to access. And I went through looking for ads. The problem is that whoever scanned every issue of Better Homes and Gardens did not always scan the fold-out ads. There were a lot of pages that they skipped the ads that folded. Because as you see, this is like a page and a half because this folds out from that page. So I think they skipped most of these because I found these, but I could not find... Oh, I found even some more here. So here, these do have the green border on them for Hershey's and Borden. But I could not, for the life of me, find this one. So, yeah, from raspberry pies to blueberry pies. So Sparky writes in a land far away. Yes, Pennsylvania. And Sparky writes in, it's been modified. I don't think it's a Mandela effect thing. But Bod Pro writes in, pie. Yes. So I made one, and I have it in my fridge. In fact, I'm going to eat a slice of it after I finish the show. I might even send Dune a picture of it. Actually,
of blueberry pie.
Of a blueberry cheesecake pie. I think I got a picture of it on my phone, actually. I did not transfer it to my computer. And anytime I try to do that, it goes slow. Here we go. There you go, Brian. Here's a picture of my blueberry pie.
Yeehaw.
It does not look quite as presentable as the professional picture on that recipe card, but it's very good, I assure you.
I believe you.
Yeah. And Zelos wants the pie. Zelos ready. Give me that pie. And I'm already. No wonder Dune's not here because we're talking pie. Yeah. So there we go. Let's see. What else can we talk for 15 minutes here? Well, we got some more time. I guess, you know what? Let me see. Let me see if I have any other fun little things. And of course, I'm still looking for somewhere. I have a burned disc that Vamp gave me during one of my cross-country trips of all the Rice-A-Roni University episodes that Vamp co-hosted with Rye. So it was like a revival of it because the original ones are gone. I used to have a few of those with... There was an NHB FTP server that had so much shit on it that crashed. And then I had saved a bunch of original Rice-A-Roni University and Gay and Straight of It episodes that because I would download things out of curiosity and then listen to them on my commute to the bank. And I think I had a folder of a bunch of stuff I was going to upload back somewhere, and I think I lost those. I might still have... One year there was a telethon prize that consisted of a collection of shows that I had found on a hard drive. So that's probably still out there somewhere. That's probably somewhere in my archives as well. But that burned disc, I think it was in a binder somewhere, and at some point I consolidated and reorganized binders, and I was a bit depressed before the show started because I went down to my basement and looked at things, and I think I'm in over my head. I don't think I'm ever going to get this house clean and tidied up to be able to... I'm dying in this house and leaving a mess to someone is what's happening. Sparky writes in, if the pie pick on that recipe is the only thing you are relying on, that being the recipe you used in the past, it is possible it is not the same one and the person just photoshopped that pick on the recipe card. I do remember it called for a can of sweetened condensed milk. I mean, the rest of the recipe, I don't have a photographic memory of what the exact instructions or ingredients were, But I'm just saying that the rest of the ingredients very much align with the recipe I made back then.
I would think so.
Zelos writes in,
Why don't you make this version of the pie with the canned
with the canned film? I could do that.
Just and try it. Does this taste like what you thought it looked like?
You know, I'm kind of thinking that maybe I should like abandon the cheap ad recipe and stick to my really good cheesecake recipe that I don't normally put a fruit topping on, and just come up with like some kind of a blueberry stovetop, what is that, compote type of thing, and actually top my good cheesecake recipe with something like that to make something of a little higher quality. I just usually never put a fruit topping on my cheesecake because I feel like that my cheesecake recipe is so good, it stands on its own. It doesn't need fruit. But sometimes cheesecake's good with fruit, but I've always felt like, it's like making a French fry that's so good you don't need ketchup. Like that's to kind of take pride in, like, why would I put ketchup on this? It's perfect. Why would I put fruit on this? It's perfect. But why? Because I like blueberries and cheesecake. That's why. So Zelo's asking, where the fuck is Rye anyways? We hear from him from time to time. He has he's called into Dune Show a few times over the past. I don't know when he last did, but it's probably been within the past year or two. So he pops up from time to time on the interwebs. I don't know where he is. I don't have contact information for him. If I were going to try to get in touch with him, I'd probably reach out to Vamp, because I got him on my. I haven't talked to Vamp in a while, but I have his number and I could call him. I feel comfortable calling him. I just don't, because I don't really have a reason. We kind of, life gets busy. We're all doing our different things. He stopped doing his show years ago. He never got the studio put back together. Vamp, that is. But I don't know if Vamp's still in touch with Rye, but if anyone would be from the staff, heck, Dune maybe. Certainly we have email addresses. But yeah, he shows up from time to time. I think he's doing all right. Yeah. So let's see, what folder was I popping into over here? Well, you know what? There was a bunch of things I clipped at some point in time. Let's see. Which one of these folders has the good clips? Somewhere I had some really good clips. Oh, here we go. Here's where the good ones are. Speaking of Vamp had a good story about drinking.
Was it your show that I talked about the J maneuver?
The what?
The J maneuver. All right. My friends and I used to hang out at TGI Fridays, and one of us managed to get a hold of a bottle of Bacardi 151. So, of course, we were underage and wanted to go to Fridays to hang out. So, we go there and we order a handful of Coca-Colas, and, I took mine in the bathroom with a backpack full of 151.
Right.
And proceeded to spike the living shit out of my own drink. All right. Now, that would have been good and fine had two things not have gone wrong. One, I didn't know how strong 151 was.
Oh.
And two, a friend of mine ashed his cigarette in my drink in front of a waitress, and the fucking thing caught on fire.
Oh, yeah. Well, Bacardi 151 has a special cap on the bottle to keep the flame from being able to get in there.
Right, because it would be a Molotov cocktail if you shoved something in it, but it's kind of awkward. And my friend looked over at the waitress and said, "Did we order a flaming Coke?"
That's funny.
Yeah, that is let's see. I don't know if I need to introduce this clip or not. There's an infamous clip from back when Genocide Rob was on the show, where we got him to stick a bottle someplace in exchange for singing Gothard singing a song to his girlfriend, which was when we sang "Wake Me Up Before You Go Go," and that clip played in automation many times of our awful rendition of singing "Wake Me Up Before You Go Go." But at some point after that, he made good on his deal, stuck the bottle somewhere, and then we moved on. And then at some point, he made this offer to do it again. Anyway, I'll just play this clip, see if I forget exactly what the context was of this.
Hey, John?
Yeah?
No, not that. I'm curious, can you sing It's Raining Men?
No.
Please?
No.
I'll stick the bottle up my ass again.
No. Oh, we don't want that. No,
This is
thank
like your
you.
gayest show ever.
Thank you.
It's super.
Thanks for asking.
I think that was a DEF CON era show, actually, because that was that deep voice. I think was a guy named Westside that would call in when we were on DEF CON. Let's see what else. What else do we have here that we could play? Improvised opening without sound. Let's see what that is. Oh, this was my sound effects weren't working, so I had to make it myself.
At most half-assed broadcast.
I could have done without hearing that again. Let's see. This one's called Dark Elf's Diapers in Australia's national anthem. I don't know what the connection is there.
He's getting the headphones queued up now, so he can't hear a word you're saying. So you can all talk.
Gothard smells of poopy. You didn't hear that, right?
No, not at all.
Gothard smells of wee.
Well, he hears you now.
Have you been pissing on yourself?
I'm not the one that's smelling of wee and poopy. Gothard, long time no see, my man.
How's those adult diapers working for you?
Well, they're kind of cumbersome, and you get some strange looks when you've been like pressed down, but otherwise they're all right, quite comfortable.
And how is everything down under?
It is good.
Oh yes, we must. We played Dark Elf's little
No, we
opening
mustn't.
thing.
Yes, we will, must. Yes.
Oh, yeah,
If they have to play my intro, they sure as hell play yours.
Yes.
Johnny here has been watching so much of the House series, I had to rent a bit of Fry and Laurie.
Oh yeah, we'll get to that in a bit. Now I got to find the other parts of this.
What the fuck is this?
This is the Australian national
This
anthem.
is the Australian national anthem.
It's still better than ours. We stole ours from some old drinking song.
No, that was England that stole theirs from an old drinking song.
Yeah, Americans don't drink.
Well, at least our state anthem is a drinking song.
I thought the Australian national anthem was what's it?
Waltzing Matilda?
That's the one.
Yeah, no, we wanted it to
So
be
wrong.
Waltzing Matilda, but the government wouldn't let us have a song about thieves and stuff.
So yeah, that was and yeah, I think I intentionally found the worst sounding MIDI file of the Australian national anthem that I could find for that. Zalos writing in, that improvised intro should be your current show intro theme. Oh, also, Zilla's also writing in, your rendition of Wake Me Up Before I Go still lives rent-free in my head. I have never been able to hear the original without thinking of it since. I think You know what I think that means, Brian? Brian, have you heard me sing "Wake Me Up Before You Go Go"? Have you heard
Do I
that
have
recording?
to?
I think you have to. So I think I have to find. Here we go. To the bug. To the bug.
God.
And he's dancing. Come on, go to this. I can't. You set my soul sky high when you love the stars. Into my brain, yeah. Goes bang bang and dancing. I haven't heard this in years. It's me. Let's scroll. Best night. Let this feel you're inside in bed. Help! I should have been with you instead. Pick me up before you go. Don't make me hang on you, yo-yo. What the fuck is all these lyrics? I don't want to miss it when you hit that high. Wake me up before you go. I am planning on going solo. Wake me up before you go. Don't take me dancing. What? Yeah. You ready for the falsetto part, Sean?
I can't do
I want to
that.
hit that. Yeah. By the sound of my ring.
What do you think of that, Brian?
That's El Sicko. Incidentally, so I went into Wikipedia looking up the national anthem for Australia, just for
Right. Advanced Australia Fair, I believe that's called.
Yeah, right. And it replaced in 1974 God Save the Queen, which was English, of course.
Right.
And then
Or God Save the King,
it does
I
mention
think,
in there Waltzing Material, Matilda was
Matilda.
on the list, Song of Australia. And then there was another thing that they liked better than Advanced Australia Fair.
Right. It's more it's an anthem. But anyways,
Hey, once in a while, some Australian does win the Formula One, so they'll play his anthem.
yeah.
But yeah, and I don't really recognize it though. Of course, the rendition you have is kind of crap, right?
It was crap. It was absolutely crap. And
Oh,
meant it to be.
so you know guitarist Joe Satriani?
Yeah, familiar with the guy.
He's from the Bay Area.
Okay.
And he was invited to play the national anthem for a Oakland A's game.
Uh-huh.
So he gets up and he starts to play, and the amp went out. So he played the air guitar.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
I think one of my favorite stories about the Wake Me Up Before You Go is Kristen, before she married me. She would listen to Automation sometimes at night. And I think at one point she fell asleep to Automation and then was awoken early the next morning to the sounds of me and Gothard singing Wake Me Up Before You Go. And yet she still married me. So go figure.
Well, maybe she just kind of go, well, if this is the worst that it can be.
Yeah. Can't get much worse than that. I've seen the worst. I may as well. So yeah, let's see. Do we have anything else we can go out on with a bang? Because I mean that was quite a bang. But I've let's see what other clips I have. Let's see. I already played the Grammy one. We played the Christmas voicemail for Vamp. Let's see. Dark Elf's new hobby. I think that one was funny.
Yes, we need to find out more about the Dark Elf's new interest or hobby that has been keeping him away from the show the past few weeks.
Interest or hobby?
Yes.
Is that what she is? Interest or hobby?
I was
Thank you, Johnny.
I was
What a
wording this in
pretty-
an inappropriate way for the purpose of humor.
There you go.
Yeah.
Interest or hobby?
Yes.
She's my. I now currently have. I haven't been on the show for the last 2 weeks because I've been too busy. How can I put this?
I think it's 3 weeks actually.
So how many dates have you had with her?
Sorry?
So that has been happening. Yeah.
No, that's been happening.
So it's not like the third week into it, you got some action right off the bat. That's
She's seduced me. That's how it pretty much works.
So now you and her are alone in the room. Did you happen to have any shillings with you?
Actually, I have. I have mentioned this to her.
Oh dear! How did this come up?
Why hasn't she dumped you yet?
Oh, if you can find a girl, if you can find a girl that will still give you a little something after you ask a shilling question.
Yeah, I
Emily?
dumped. What?
Emily, you gotta remember, she's the one who seduced me.
I would dump any guy that asked the shilling question.
I didn't ask her the shilling question. I just merely warned her of the shilling question.
Oh, so she's been tuning into all your shows, and you wanted to let her know what she's gonna.
I just made it clear to her at some point she will have to come onto the show, and she will be asked that question.
I think she did eventually come on that show. Brian, have we ever explained the shilling question to you?
No, that's over my head.
It was a running joke on our show, and in fact, I think it was a running joke that originated on another show that Dark Elf brought on to our show. I'm not sure the origins of the shilling question, but on my show, the origins of the shilling question were from Dark Elf, and we were always excited whenever a female called in, and we always ensured that anytime a female called in, she was likely to never call in again. The shilling question being one of the ways to ensure that, which was that. And it was one of these things that it was funny because we kept doing it, because as soon as Dark Elf would ask the question to the female caller, do you know what a shilling is? Anyone that's listened to our past shows will just start bursting out laughing because I know where this is going. And apparently there was some scientist that would use the shilling to measure capaciousness. And so ultimately the shilling question was, how many shillings can you hold in your down there? Is the question to try to measure the capaciousness of the female caller that called in. I'm not doing a good job of making this sound funny, but it was funny. Trust me. I was there. It was funny.
Sure. For the moment, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, well, because it was a running joke, it was funny. Every time a girl called in, Dark Elf would go, do you know what a shilling is? And I think at some point it would get awkward if you had family members on the line, and Dark Elf would be like, do you know what a shilling is? No, not that. Don't do bad, Dark Elf. Bad. Anyways, it's about time for us to wrap this up. Zelos writes in, was that when you had speakers set up around your bed? No, actually, no. Kristen woke up to me singing Wake Me Up Before You Go when we were dating, and I think she was at college at the time. So it wasn't us living together and I had them on. It was she fell asleep with automation on her laptop, and that came on. The automation woke her up. But yeah, for a while I had speakers. Yeah, because I was in Maine. Everything was in my bedroom. And Sparky writes in, got to go, and I didn't learn anything. Adios. If he stuck around, he would have learned about a shilling. Anyways, thank you, Zelos, for joining us. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. And you know what we got to do? We got to. We forgot to open the show, so we got to open up the show. So
and close it.
Yeah. So let's see. You're tuned in to everyone's favorite internet radio show.
Insert title here.
The show that changes titles so frequently, we just put a placeholder in. And but unfortunately, it is now time for us to put to bed another fun-filled edition of
Insert title here.
But we do try to be educational here. So, Brian, what have you learned this week?
Well, I just learned that Sparky didn't learn a damn thing.
Okay. And I learned this week that NHB really did leave a legacy, and I think it has hit me that the best way for that legacy to live on is for someone else to tell it other than me. And I look forward to seeing how that unfolds with the NHB archive and the Discord that's there. And I'm just
So who's the show that would do it?
No, well, there's not a show that would do it.
Well, somebody else would do it, right?
Right. Well,
it's not you, it's somebody else.
It's Zalos and Blind Kid and whoever else hanging out in the Discord. So I really look forward to see what comes there, and what makes it to the YouTube channel, and how long it takes the YouTube channel to get taken down for inappropriate material.
Right.
But I kid. But we have learned over our years doing this what will get taken down from YouTube. Probably some of the things that I played in this show would also. Anyways, on that note, thank you everyone for listening. Thank you so much. We'll be back here. I don't think I'm going to be here next week. I'm planning on going to the well, I don't know. I might be, actually. I'm planning on going to the show. No, yeah, I'll be here next week. I'll be here. I won't be here for Dune show next Sunday, but I'll be here for this show next Monday. So, yeah. And you'll be here next Monday, Brian?
I think so.
So
unless I'm on jury duty.
Unless you're on jury duty and sequestered.
Right.
With free pizza.
Right.
And what?
Of course, it won't be New Jersey pizza. So
no. But you probably have a good fight over the toppings. Half the room's going to want pepperoni. The other half are vegetarians.
Right.
Yeah. Anyways, we're going to go find someone to raid is what we're going to do. So let me take it on over to the Twitch and see who's live right now. And maybe, just maybe, we have enough viewers on here to raid Tired Actor. Because she only lets people raid that have enough followers or enough viewers.
Yeah.
So we don't always get to raid her. But I love it when we get to raid her. So let me see if it... yes, it let us do it. All right, so we're going to go raid Tired Actor. She's playing some Red Dead Redemption. And we'll be back here, same time, same place next week. Good night.
All right. Super.
All right, we are rated. All right, I hope I didn't bore you too much with my self-indulgence, but